and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here tonight, guys, where, quite honestly, I think we've all had enough. You know, I spoke before the game about the fact that you don't know what to say really about this Barcelona team right now, about the fact that we genuinely want to give them an opportunity. We want to give them more and more and more chances. We want to give them every possible opportunity to show us something, you know, to show us maybe, okay, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Things are going to turn around. Things are going to start changing. But every game that we see, there's glaring signs there, glaring problems with the setup, with the whole approach of this team. And tonight against Club Brugge, in a game that shouldn't have been difficult for Barca. Let's be very honest here. This is a game that we should be taking care of. This should be 3 points in the bag in the Champions League stage. How hard did we make it look? You know, how difficult did we make this game for ourselves? And in the end, it's 2 more points drop. It's more disappointment. It's a failure to win and a real failure to play well. You know, we were nowhere near good enough tonight. It's another game that we say that. Let's talk about the performance, and let's talk about the massive problems with this setup and why it simply cannot go on like this. Oh, let's do it. Because, okay, guys, let's get one thing straight immediately. Let's get one thing out of the way. I know this Barcelona team right now, they are still struggling with injury problems, and we have given them that excuse. You know, we have said, okay, you know, we can put aside some of these performances, some of these results, because we have been really plagued by injuries. But let me just say, coming into tonight's game, you look at that starting lineup there. You've got Szczesny in goal, which, okay, it's not ideal. You know, we'd like Joan Garcia between the sticks. We can all admit that. But along the back line, you've got players there like Balde, you've got Arau, you've got Koundé, you've got De Jong in midfield, you've got Rashford, who's been really good of late, you've got Fermin, Lamine Yamal, one of the biggest and best talents in the world, and you've got Ferran Torres. Now, you cannot tell me that just because we've got injuries, that team is not good enough to win this game, that team right there is not good enough to play well, to actually dominate and have some authority against a team like Club Brugge. And by the way, I don't mean any disrespect when I'm talking here about Club Brugge. I'm talking here in terms of the statures of the two clubs and the money, you know, the money that goes in. You know, Club Brugge actually spoke before the game about the amount of money that Barca generate, you know, their revenue in comparison to Club Brugge. You know, the differences are absolutely astronomical, and that is a team there from Barca, regardless of injury problems, that should be good enough to get the job done, and we cannot use injuries tonight as an excuse for that game, as an excuse for that performance, and as an excuse for this result. So where does it all go wrong then? Where is the glaring problem in this Barcelona team? Why tonight were Club Brugge able to score not only 3 goals, let's be honest here, yes, they scored 3, yes, the game has ended 3-3, they could have scored more. You know, we were very lucky there that actually the referee was paying a bit of attention. The VAR team bailed us out on a few occasions there. There was a few goals chalked off in the process, but let's just say, how many chances do they have? And this is not just about Club Brugge. Every team, every single team, week upon week, they get chances galore. If I'm a striker out there right now, there's one team that I want to play. There's one team that I'm looking at right now in the fixture list thinking, oh, I can't wait till I play Barca. I cannot wait until I'm up against that back line. Now, let me just say again, they are not bad players. They are not bad defenders. But any team that defends and consistently defends on the halfway line with minimal pressure on the ball, you've got no chance. We are not defending anymore. It's not a defensive line. There's no line. There's no protection at the back of our team right now because it doesn't take much. It's not as though we're talking here game upon game of brilliant wizardry to carve open our team. You know, fantastic passes, wonderful players who are unlocking this Barca defence. It's anyone. It's genuinely anybody right now that can forge their way through. If you've got a bit of pace, if you time your run, you are literally in. You are in on goal. It's 1 pass. It's 2 passes. You're 1-on-1 with our goalkeeper. You know, you can't do that. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about La Liga, Copa del Rey, Champions League. You cannot play like that and expect to win games, and especially expect to win tournaments, trophies. It won't happen. open. It's so easy. And I think we as fans right now, we're sitting at home, we're watching these games, we're watching teams carve us open and creating monumental chances. Because that's the thing, if you get in behind Barca, you are literally at the goal. You've got an easy pass across goal. We've seen it time and time again. Teams can score so easily, and it makes you want to tear your hair out. I mean, it's a wonder I have any hair left. It really, really is. Because it's just so simple for teams, and it happens so often right now. Before it was, we'll catch them offside. That line will be so solid, it'll be so compact, it'll be so organised. Players right now, it's not happening. With that back line, it's not as cohesive. You don't have the leadership there of Inigo Martinez anymore. It's not really organised in that way. And like I say, without pressure on the ball, you're hopeless anyway. You've got no chance of this system succeeding if you're not pressing, if you're not winning that ball back, if you're not really putting pressure on the ball and not giving people time to pick passes. And I just think right now, at both ends of the field, it's just warning signs. It's massive problems, structural problems with the system. And the other problem is that I don't see any change. I keep seeing after games and performances like this that, okay, this is a wake-up call. This is going to be the moment where Barca and Hansi Flick realise you can't do this anymore. This is going to be the wake-up call. I just don't buy that. I just don't see that right now in this Barcelona team. Because to be perfectly honest with you, if you haven't gotten that call by now, throughout the season with the games that we've seen, the performances that we've, really bad performances that we put in, if you haven't had a wake-up call yet and thought maybe we should reevaluate this system, maybe we should reevaluate the way that we're playing, the way that we're on the halfway line, I just don't see it happening. We know that Hansi Flick, he will live and die by this style of play. It's something that is ingrained in his coaching mantra. It's his tactics, it's his style of play. It's what he is as a coach, but it's not working. The players out there right now, they are not doing well in this system. And I just look at the goals that we conceded. I just look at the chances that we allow every single week. Where does it end? When is it enough? Because we're not even playing, top teams. I look at Real Madrid. I'll be honest with you right now. We lost the Clasico to Real Madrid. They could have scored way more goals on the day. Do I think Real Madrid right now are a top team? Honestly, no. We're losing to people in games like that whereby they're not even at their best. They're not even the top team they claim to be right now. Liverpool saw off Real Madrid, and they're not even in good form either. So it's not as though Barca here, they're just losing against these top teams who are at the top of their game. Teams have still got levels to go, and we are nowhere near. And unless we take a good look in the mirror, this season will amount to nothing. And I think it's about time here that we just sit up and face reality. If we continue to do the same things, no matter who we get back, no matter what injuries we recover, if this system is played in this way, just forget the season. We will not achieve anything defending like this, or lack of defending like this. Because like I say, we're not defending. It's a wide open, it's an entire field waiting to be exploited. And we just let it happen. We just let it happen week upon week, no matter who we're playing, no matter what the circumstances of the game. We are wide open, waiting to be taken advantage of. I don't like that. You don't like that. I'm sure the players don't like this either. But when is it going to change? Because I guess the other thing right now, guys, in terms of the Champions League tonight, in terms of the league phase standings, I mean, there may be some people, maybe even within the club, who say, Barca right now, they're in 11th place in the Champions League phase. And that's the thing about this current Champions League setup. It won't actually punish you. And I think that's why we need to sit up and recognise our own problems. The competition won't tell us our problems yet, because sure, we're 11th place, as it is, we're set to go into that playoff round to qualify for the knockout stages, and quite honestly, you have to be catastrophically bad to fail to qualify to something in the Champions League. You've got to finish outside there, the top 24 teams. So the bar right now in the Champions League, it is incredibly low, so you won't really see in the standings that Barca, they're suffering. But we are. In the Champions League up next, we've got Chelsea. Now, I tell you right now, if we defend like this, and if we play with that kind of high line, and again, with that passive attitude that we seem to have, if we play like that at Stamford Bridge, it's going to be embarrassing. And that's why we've got to nip this in the bud now. We've got to stand up and take some notice now before things get even more embarrassing. We don't want to be going into games like that and getting obliterated by teams in and around us in the standings, guys. So I just want to know in the comments down below, how are you feeling right now? Because let's have some honesty here. Let's have some brutal honesty. I've struggled recently to make videos. I've struggled here to sort of find the words to sum up how I feel about Barca. Well, tonight, it's right there for you. This is how I am feeling. It's how I've been feeling. Tonight really did just tip me over the edge, because we keep making the same mistakes, and you just can't do this. You cannot defend like that at the top level. It is ridiculous, and we cannot go on like this. So please do let me know all of your thoughts, all of your feelings right now. Let me know in the comments down below. I want to be hearing from you guys, and I will see you soon. We will be discussing more about these issues, about what we can do to combat them in these games and weeks to come. But I hope you all have a good rest of the night. Go and do something else right now. Go and take your mind off this Barcelona team. Just everybody calm down if we can. But thank you indeed, guys, for tuning in here, for all of your great support. I really, really do appreciate that. I will see you soon. But until next time, as always, Vejka, el Barça.